Video games leave themselves open to plenty of what-if scenarios. Unreleased games and beta elements are obsessively researched and analyzed, with many websites such as The Cutting Room Floor and Unseen64 devoted almost singularly to the topics. It's also something that I'm personally pretty fascinated with. That being said, sometimes it's interesting to look at not what we didn't get, but rather what we weren't intended to get at all. And it's along that line that we begin our journey into the strange and vast world of video game glitches. Glitches are one of the many things that makes gaming distinct from other mediums such as film. When Orson Welles was making Citizen Kane, he didn't have to worry about checking for bugs lest someone watching it give Charlie infinite lives or something. And as long as they're controlled, glitches are often a welcome side effect of gaming's uniquely variable nature. The concept of the game glitch, in the popular sense anyway, was probably first introduced to most people with the original Super Mario Bros. And the famous Minus World glitch, a bug which warps Mario to the game's normally inaccessible 36th world. Depending on the version you're playing, you'll either get stuck in an infinite water level identical in design to World 2-2, or if you're playing the Famicom Disk System version, you'll find an entirely new, somewhat trippy world. Since then, glitches have become almost like a scientific research field, with computer scientists and normal gaming enthusiasts breaking games in more and more insane ways to produce more and more insane results. The best example of this recently was a cooperative effort by the YouTube user SethBleen and others to run a version of Flappy Bird in Super Mario World via arbitrary code execution, a very complicated process which involves writing code to the game from within the game itself by the precise manipulation of memory addresses. It was that video actually that got me thinking more about the whole question of glitches as they relate to Super Mario World, a subject which, as I thought about it, appeared to lack the discussion and fervor I would have expected. In particular, I wanted to know if there was anything significant you could do with the game that didn't require godlike response times or getting a PhD in theoretical Mario physics to pull off. As I began my search, I was turning up very little, and I was about ready to give up when I came across a video by user nathanisbored. In this video, he showed a method for completing the first area of the game, titled Yoshi's House. In normal gameplay, you can't actually beat this level, you merely leave it. This might not seem immediately significant, but those familiar with Super Mario World might see where I'm going with this. You see, Mario World has a total of 96 exits. This number includes beating a level normally, as well as getting any hidden or secret exits in a level. On the title screen, the number of exits you found appears next to each file. So to have a complete file, this number needs to be 96. As it turns out though, in the Japanese version of the game, this number is not bounded, and so if one was able to find extra exits somehow, they could, in theory, get a completion rate of 101% or more. Which naturally leads me into the main point of discussion today, Super Mario World's unintended exits. For starters, as I said earlier, the Japanese version is the only one which isn't bounded to display 96 exits, but as far as I can tell, aside from that, all these glitches are possible in the original PAL and North American SNES releases. The first glitch you're going to have to pull off is probably also the most important one in this entire process, and interestingly enough, it can be done in the first level of the game. The setup requires 3 things going into the level. First, you must be Fire Mario. Second, have a mushroom in your reserve box, though I can't actually tell if this is a required step, but that's how I did it and have seen everybody else do it. And lastly, you must have a Yoshi of any color. After you've met these requirements, enter Yoshi's Island level 1 and play all the way to the end of the level. To make things easier, I recommend killing the piranha plant, but this isn't strictly necessary. Next you need to pull off the item stock glitch, though I've also heard it referred to as the item swap glitch. To do this, position Yoshi towards the center of the pipe and wait for the Rex to get near you. When it does, simultaneously jump off Yoshi toward the Rex and hit Y to stick out Yoshi's tongue. If done correctly, the fire generated from Mario when he jumps off Yoshi will kill the Rex, turning it into a coin, which both Mario and Yoshi will collect at the same time. This will give you a mangled Koopa in your item box, and make the charging chuck to the right disappear. Initially this seems pretty strange, and at least a little gruesome in regards to the item box. So what's going on here exactly? As I understand it, when Yoshi's tongue touches the coin, the game expects Yoshi to also swallow something. But since Mario grabs the coin before he can, it grabs the closest thing, in this case, the chuck, and makes him eat that. In normal gameplay though, the chuck can't be eaten, so the game doesn't know what to do with it, and interprets it as a power-up. As for why the power-up looks like a Koopa, I'm not sure, as it actually corresponds to the gold point item from the sunken ship area. Having the gold point in your inventory means that you can beat nearly any level instantly. And assuming you've made it to Bowser's castle or the back door, you can easily pick up an unintended exit. For the former, many people's preferred method is to drop it onto the 2 and then do a crouch jump. And for the latter, place it above the first set of stairs you encounter and simply jump to grab it. You have to be somewhat careful though. As I found out personally, if you don't place it where the stairs can catch you, you'll likely walk into a lava pit, invalidating the exit. Together, this gives you 2 unintended exits, raising the total to 98. By far, these are the easiest ones to get. From here, things pick up significantly on the technical and difficulty sides. Now, some might think, as I myself did, that there should be plenty more unintended exits you could get, perhaps in sub-areas. Something I tried personally was collecting the gold point in the coin heaven, but all it gave me was a glitched overworld. The important aspect when it comes to the unintended exits, as I understand it anyway, is that the level you clear must have an event associated with it that goes unused normally. This is not true of those areas. The third unintended exit is by far the most interesting to Super Mario World fans. It was also the last one I was able to complete, and only then after hours of attempts. The explanation for why this glitch works is so far beyond me that I'll just give you the steps and you'll have to take my word for it. The first thing you need here is Cape Mario and a Yoshi of your choice, though many prefer blue for its flying ability. Next, enter Star World 5 without having completed the secret or normal exit. From the start of the level, fly over to the island with the P-switch, walk until Yoshi and the P-switch are the only sprites on the screen, then walk to the left and eat the red Koopa. Next, fly to this block, turn left, and spit the fire. Eat the Koopa to your right, and with it still in Yoshi's mouth, sacrifice Yoshi. Break the blocks directly beneath you, and move to the right to get a yellow Yoshi. Bring it back to the series of platforms you were just on, all the while trying not to eat anything. Now, throw him up into the air, jump on the vine, and hold wide to grab him. Now, make your way to the right, to this purple tube, and place Yoshi to the rightmost cement block. Be sure not to pass the pipe, as this will load the goalpost and make the glitch impossible. Making your way back to the left, jump down up against this pipe and kill the enemies down there, sparing the Koopa. Then make the Koopa respawn by jumping on the gray platforms to your right in the order from right to left. Doing this step is important as it sets up conditions in the game's sprite slots. Next, you want to grab the Koopa, fly with it where you had Yoshi, throw it in the air, and a moment later, throw Yoshi. Then walk to the right to load the goalpost, and assuming you did everything correctly, you'll get a course clear. Incredibly enough though, this isn't even the exit we were looking for. This is merely the setup. Now at the overworld, you'll see the area to the right gets filled in, but strangely, Mario can't move that way, and instead will automatically move upward to the spot usually reserved for the entrance to the special world. If you select this, you'll find it actually brings you into a stage. This is where you'll need to use the orb, so at this point, it's a good idea to go back and collect one if you haven't already. The best part about this stage is that it's one normally completely inaccessible. It opens with an anti-Yoshi sign, which is something you don't see in the usual course of the game, and it works much like the intro to a ghost house or a castle, forcing Mario to jump off before continuing. From there, you'll find yourself in a room with blocks that spell out the word test, indicating that this is in fact a test level. There's no real exit here, so you must use the orb to complete it. This stage has actually been known about for a very long time, particularly by hackers, but it's cool to access it on actual hardware without the aid of a Game Genie. And thus concludes all the unintended exits that I was able to get, bringing my total to 99 when I finally completed the game's final course, Funky. But there are a few more. As of this video, there are 4 more possible, for a total of 103 exits. For starters, there's the aforementioned Yoshi's House exit. What makes this one so difficult is that collecting the orb from its standard position won't give Mario enough time to complete the victory animation before leaving the level normally, and thus you won't get an exit. Instead, you have to pull off a series of rather complicated and specific glitches in succession, followed by an item swap to warp the goal point to where Mario is. Next is the Funky Secret exit, which requires you glitch a keyhole and a key into the level. Lastly, there's a forest star warp, and a star warp in Valley of Bowser level 4, which is similar to the Star World 5 glitch. As I wasn't able to complete any of these myself though, if you want to know more about them, I recommend checking out MrCheeze, nathanisbored, and Panda Bear 314, who seem to be the current experts on this stuff. I'll provide links to their channels in the description. To wrap everything up, I just gotta say, it's really cool to see that my most beloved retro game is still surprising me over 20 years after its release. As things are now, it's currently theorized that there could be up to 108 obtainable unintended exits, and the topic is still being explored today, meaning that if things keep up, Super Mario World won't be running out of tricks anytime soon. Thank you for watching.